ברשות הרב. Parashat Vayeira. So this week, Be'ez Hashem, we're going to talk about where we see in the Torah communication between husband and wife. But we're talking about the greatest husbands in the world and the greatest wives in the world and communication. So we have Avraham Avinu and Sarah, communication this week, Parashat twice. Number one, when they had the guests. Number two, when she decided to kick out Ishmael out of the house. And the third one will be communication between, dialogue, I said, between Yaakov and his wife Rachel. In all those communications, the husband seems to be too Moroccan, too tough, and it doesn't make sense. As we expect the husband, Gdolei Ador, Avraham Avinu and Yaakov Avinu, to be the most sensitive people to their wives, yet we see based on the dialogue that something was wrong. So that doesn't make sense, and we need to understand the foundations of communication between husband and wife and to understand what happened over there. So we begin in the beginning of this week Parasha. Avraham Avinu had 3 guests. He's sitting outside, just waiting, dying to have guests. And suddenly you see 3 people. He gets so excited and he turns over to his wife and he's talking to her, Mari, shalosh seim kemachsolet. Yalla Rosh, go quick, get shalosh seim kemachsolet. Hello. She's not your service. מה זה מערי? Go quick, תביא לי את זה מהר. She's not working for you. באיזה communication? בבקשה. מה זה מערי? Go quick, 3 קיים כמחסולת. היא לא בוכרית. הוא לא בוכרית.
היא בוכרית מה אומרים? תכלי בשר. מה זה מערי?
בוכרי לא מביא לחם. הוא תימני אברהם אבינו. מביא להם לחם. כמחסולת. 3 שאים כמחסולת. So what kemach solet, the Gemara in Bava Metzia brings that kemach or solet, you have to make up your mind. Solet is much harder to make. So the Gemara Metzia brings that this is not according to Rashi. All of the Mefashim explain the way I'm about to explain. Kemach solet means, he said בהתחלה kemach, and then she brought solet. Rashi learned the opposite, that he told her bring solet, and Sarah brought less, she brought kemach. So you see שאישה עיניה צרה באורחים. She is like קשה לה, it's hard for her to have guests. So, but most of the Farshim learns, first he said kemach and then solet. So Avraham Avinu said kemach, and she brought solet. So the Imrei Emes brings that's a pshat, that usually the Avraham Avinu told her to be kemach because עיניה צרה באורחים, and she doesn't want to work too much. So therefore, she brought only kemach. But at this case only, she happened to bring solet, a fine flour, a better flour. The shaila is, number one, so Avraham Avinu meaning having hard time with his wife. She doesn't want to do something. And he doesn't. So don't do it because you don't want to do. I mean, we're facing these issues on a day to day. Your wife doesn't want to do something. How do you deal with it? We see interesting meaning. The Torah telling us that a woman, basically, this is a bad message about Sarah Imenu, נכון? What do you say about Sarah? שאישה עיניה צרה באורחים, meaning woman צרה באורחים, ואתה מה? I mean, we are fine. What a message of the Torah talking bad about Sarah? Okay, that's the first dialogue. Second, why you put down a woman שעיניה צרה באורחים?
Because he sees a place.
זה לא מכובד לדבר עליה בצורה כזאת. Sarah Imenu. Next, the next dialogue. מה? מערי, 3 שאים קמח סולת.
לא, שאמרת שזה קורה לה כאילו...
שהגמרא אומרת, מכאן שעיניה צרה באורחים. צרות עין, לא צרות עין, צרה באורחים. תבין מדקדק. Then, we have an interesting dialogue. The מלאך is telling אברהם אבינו בעזר השם, מה זאת? You know, and your wife gonna have a child, and gonna have a boy, and you're gonna call him Yitzchak. She heard it, and she's laughing, you know. You know, my eldest sister, she's single, she's 36, and you know, in the Haredi community, is a lot more than 36. So one of the things she loves the most is like all of the brachot, Bezrat Hashem, Hashana, Mitchatenet, you know, enough is enough. So getting this bracha from another guy, Arab, is telling her, Shana הבאה יהיה לך בן, מה היא צריכה להגיד? לא היה חזק וברוך. So Hashem turned over and complained to Avraham, למה היא צחקה שרה? First question, Hashem, if you have a problem with Sarah, talk to Sarah. Why do you do bayot of shlom bayit? Talking to her husband, why she did. So So Avraham Avinu turned to Sarah, אומר לה, שרה, למה צחקת? So he said, no, I didn't laugh. אמרת לה, בשביל שלום בית, היא שיקרה. By the way, this is the biggest issue that we have. Everybody laugh for shalom. Because anytime that, everybody lie for shalom. Because anything that you're not going to lie, you're going to get into trouble, נכון? So everything is for shalom. So what's the definition of lying for shalom from now on? Everything you don't want to get in trouble, it's for called shalom, l'shem shamayim, you don't lie. Somebody, did you go over there? No, I didn't go. My wife's going to get upset if she heard I went there. So you can lie at your wife every time throughout your life, because at any time when you lie, it's shalom. So what's the definition? That's a side point. And then, so basically, but the real, what's the definition? And the real shaila is, what do you want from her? She already Arab said she's going to have children. Okay, she was laughing. What's the big deal? But then the response was unbelievable. The Torah says, "Vatomer lo tzachakti ki yareh." She was afraid. She was afraid from the gangster. Her husband, Avraham Avinu. After 90 years of marriage, I expect from you better communication, and your wife should be comfortable talking to you and to say the truth. How come she's afraid to tell you the truth? What was the response of Avraham after? So, ותכחש שרה לאמור, לא צחקתי כי הרי I didn't laugh because you're afraid. ויאמר, לא, כי צחקת. No, you laughed. And then Torah continued to change the topic. So what's the message of the dialogue of the Torah for us? He said, no, I didn't laugh. No, you laughed. The two kids were fighting, you know? Now, when we fight with our wife, usually we are acting like kids. But this is Avraham Avinu. Saying, oh, no, you laughed. Okay, so what? What's next? What's the gain of Avraham putting her down by telling her, no, you laughed? So what's the message over here to her? No, okay, then she should, nothing happened right after this. All this dialogue, talk about the most giant people, doesn't make sense. The next dialogue we have, when Sarai Imenu, she saw that Ishmael playing games, acting inappropriately, and she decided that that's it, kick him out of the house. This is the first time, I think the only time, that a woman gives instructions in the Torah. And she's telling her husband what to do. And only at this time we have Kol asher tomar alecha Sarah shema bekola. So everybody quoting it, that anything your wife telling you, listen to her. But it's not true. Many times your wife will tell you things that are wrong. What's significant over here that Hashem said, no, עכשיו אתה שומע בקולה. In general, we don't see a word of a wife. Hashem doesn't communicate with any woman throughout the parashiyot. We don't see it with our nevi'ut that happen, but no message to women. Here, that's the only place in the Torah that a woman speaks out and give a message to her husband, and he accepts it. Kol asher tomar, what's special about this case? It's not only you listening to your wife. כל אשר תאמר שרה, כן. לא, אבל זה לא הכל, לא, זה לא הכל, לא, the woman take it too far, but it's not like that. The last dialogue was in Parashat Vayeira. In Parashat Vayeira, Yaakov Avinu married Leah and he married Rachel. And children came from Leah and not from Rachel. So the Torah says, ותרא רחל כי לא ילדה ליעקב, she didn't bring any children to יעקב, ותקנא רחל באחותה. She was jealous. ותאמר אל יעקב, אבא לי בנים, please bring me children, ואם אין מתה אנוכי, if not, I'm dead. Rashi says, what's ותקנא רחל באחותה? מה זה לקנות? So he said she was מקנאה or מעשיה הטובים. She said, if she had children and I don't have children, must be, she has more מעשים טובים than I had. So she is better. She was jealous on her. And then she telling Yaakov, I need children. אם אין מתה אנוכי. My question to her, Rachel, what's the problem? Do מעשים טובים.
It's on you, not on me.
Yeah, do מעשים טובים. Then Yaakov responded to her, no one can understand. ויחר אף יעקב ברחל, he getting upset at her. ויאמר, תחת אלוהים אנוכי אשר מנע ממך בריבתם? Am I in a replaced I'm in charge? Am I instead of God who withheld from you? Says Rashi, unbelievable. She accused him. He said, when your mother didn't have children, what did your father do?
Prayed.
להתפלל. So you should go מתפלל for me. He's telling her, Rashi says, no, I don't need to pray for you. אשר מנע, את אומרת שאני אעשה כמו אבא. אבא לא היו לו בנים. My father didn't have children, that's why he prayed. לי יש בנים, I have children. ממך מנע ולא ממני. You don't have children, I have, what do you want from me? Yaakov answer his wife. Hey, if you're saying it to your wife, you sleep in shoroshim the next night. מה קורה פה? It's your problem.
Back in the day,
Back in the day, they were still normal. Not only today, the Bukharim took it different, but back in the day, they were okay. How can you tell? איך מדברים עם האישה? קודש קודש. How is possible for Yaakov, the greatest Yaakov, to talk to Rachel on such a way? And what should be the response of Rachel after, if your husband getting upset at you, okay, and giving you such a message, do you want him to marry another woman after? She respond, okay, yalla, go marry my shifcha, maybe ייבנה אנוכי ממנה. If your husband is upset at you, you want him to marry another wife, what's wrong with you, Rachel? What's going on over here? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, but not when he was upset at her. He's giving it to her. When your husband is upset at you, usually the wife, shut up, you don't love me, you don't care about me, since we got married, and always I knew that. I married another woman. That's a solution to the problem. Nothing makes sense. So b'siyata d'ishma, in order to understand, I want to start with the foundations. Men are chesed, women are din, judgment. In simple words, men are in the air. We are floating above. Women are in earth. They have more achiza. They have regesh. What's regesh means? Emotions. A sense to feel what's going on. We don't have that sense of feeling what's going on. We are above. We have visions. We have like to to take things, to take project, to develop, to do visions, visionaries. But women are very practical. They're connected to the world, and women are very practical. It's on a day-to-day we see it's a challenge that people are facing in life, where the classic example, like any idea the husband bring at home, his wife telling him, "Ta beseder? Want to bring a second floor? When you build over there, you did so many mistakes, it didn't work out. You want to build now?" Women always mekarka'im. They putting the person down to earth. Wake up from your dreams. We do see that company CEOs runs by men, not by women, because women leaves details they cannot develop. You need men. All of the revolutions, big revolution in the world, happen by single men, not by married. Because if you married, your wife put you down, relax. That's not what you're good at. That's a general structure between husband and a wife. It is compared, I heard, to when you ride a hearse. Woman is the hearse, and you, כתוב, לסוסתי ברכבי פרעה, דימיתיך רעייתי. Hashem compared a woman to a hearse. What's it פשט? תגיד לאשתי, תגיד לה, את חמור, בסדר, את סוס, כאילו מה? What's the message that woman compared to a hearse? And that's important. Woman, on her need, builds in to be controlled by men. Hashem said, "Ve'u yimshol bach." Since the emotion of the woman are so overwhelmed and express so much, a woman can come out, cockroaches on the pot. Okay, no, it's fine, it's okay. We putting it into perspective. Man has an ability to give women control, which means when women are in control, she can perform much better. She can do better than a woman that's not in control. Not only it's helping her to control her emotions, it's helping her to perform and to behave and to do much better. It's similar to a hearse. If you let a hearse ride by itself, here we have Lechaim Farms. If you want to buy a hearse, brand new, $500.
Yep.
Okay? Brand new. Used, how much used one cost? After 2 years, $10,000. מה קרה? למה? Gotta be trained. A hearse goes all over. Somebody got to train him, and then he can perform, can be the best one. It's all about the training that the hearse went through. But the hearse had 3 basic elements that define the hearse and give you ability how to control and what to do. Number 1, hearse is very sensitive to your emotions. A lot of emotional treatments being done with hearses, they have today, because to help kids to relate to their emotions, they train them how to ride hearse. Hearse feels you, and if you're nervous, he's nervous. If you calm, he's calm. So a kid who driving, my daughter was riding a hearse and she was terrified and she started, no, relax, smile, okay. And then you see the hearse everything goes down, it's fine. So number one, whatever you sense, if you're nervous, he's nervous. Anything goes to you, affect him. Number two, you cannot do any, I was with my daughter in training, so we were trying to get the hearse to go to the right. So she pull him to the right, and he does some akafot. He cannot make turns immediately, drastic turns. Hearts needs motions, waver, and flow in order to change direction. You cannot suddenly make a U-turn on the spot like we do suddenly. Nothing sudden can happen with a hearse. The third thing is interesting, that the hearse has sritot. How do you say in English sritot? It has
Flaws.
flaws.
לא, קצת לא פלאס.
Like it has certain things.
Defects.
Defects.
Certain defects. So I don't want to use defects for women, but sritot. I'll use the Hebrew word. Okay. So her says sritot. משהו שרוט, כן? Scratch. Her says sritot, and if you try to go against the sritot of the hearse, there is no way for you to win. You got to learn them. Somebody told me about a Parasha. In Eretz Israel, they have in the army hearses. They ride they ride on hearse. The police ride on hearse. That he went to visit them and he was in the hospital, mefurak, broken. Said, what happened? He said, my hearse, he said, I love him the most. It was, they have very close relationship as it's emotional animal. He said, one thing bothered him. Srita shelo is, when he sees a plastic bag, he stops. He gets frozen.
Plastic what?
Bag. Plastic bag. Shopping bag. He gets frozen. So he said, we were riding and I went into intersection. And then, plastic bag flew. And I'm in the middle of the intersection. So I said, okay, I gotta go. So I was trying to push him to go, and he didn't want to go. So I turned him to the right to move, and he didn't want to move. And I got so frustrated, and ויפול רוחבו אחור, he threw me to the back, and I was in the hospital. Think about that. He violated all three rules. He has srita, a bug bothered him. Don't fight his sritot. You shouldn't fight it. You should continue and move forward. Wait till it's over and move with it. Number two, he's trying to do immediate turn. It doesn't work. Earth cannot have an immediate turn. And then, number three, which is number one rule, he got nervous. He couldn't take him, threw him back. That's a comparison of a man to a woman. A hearse to a woman. Man is the most powerful machine that he needs the hearse. Hearse cannot ride by himself. He needs the woman to give him the ability to ride. Number one, we need to know, you need to be sensitive to if you're nervous, she's nervous. If your wife is upset and you're getting upset, what do? You're making her much more upset than before. Because your emotion goes direct to her. Your wife usually senses your emotions before you sense them. Meaning, are you okay? No, I'm fine. Then half an hour after, you know what, I'm dead tired. Yeah, that's what she saw, what you didn't see. She senses your emotion much more than you. Number two, no drastic moves by women. Why it takes so long for a woman to go out to an event, to a wedding, and you few minutes can go? Because for you, everything can be in seconds. 1, 2, 3, yalla, suit, I'm ready, I'm ready to go. Besides, I don't have what to wear, it's a process. A woman, everything, it's a process. Even intimacy by men in 1 second is ready, a woman takes time. Everything is processed by a woman. Nothing can be drastic. If you want to move a house, yalla, honey, let's move. Oh, whoa, let me see. Let me see. Let me check the houses. Everything is a process by women. Nothing can be done immediately, and they need the time being in order to create a change. And number three, the most important. Every woman has sritot. You cannot fight the sritot of your wife. And that's the most important. You have to acknowledge them, and you need to validate her sritot. Whatever the sritot of your wives are, it's your responsibility to know them, to give her the feeling that you acknowledge and it's okay 100%. Usually if somebody told me that his wife, the cockroach in the house, she left to her parents' house. She cannot sleep at home for 3 days. So what would you say to her, Mom? בסדר, I know, cockroach. So if you don't acknowledge her srita, then she's not yours. The only way she become yours only if you acknowledge her difficulties and you're fine with it and you give it 100%. That's the basic foundation. So let's talk about again the classic issues. We have ma'of, we flying, we have vision, and a woman doesn't have it. How do you reconcile? This part is for a woman, and you can share it at home. I think it's important. A woman who has her own issues in life, you want to build a second floor in your house. She doesn't want you to build. She cannot hold her husband and telling him, no, עזוב אותך, no, again with you nonsense, building another floor. This last time wasn't enough for you. What do you want? I'm fine, I don't need anything else, I'm okay. She shut down the man's vision, and she cannot. She needs to be okay with the vision while you are okay with her limitations. So she needs to tell her, look, I love the idea of building a house, but I have a problem. All this mess, getting the out messy, I can't take it. I can, moving another house will be hard for me. It's not that you have a problem. It's me, I have issues. And your issues are legit. That's gonna work only if you validate her issues. If you're gonna tell her, you stop with your nonsense, then she will never be straightforward to you and tell you her problems. She will feel comfortable to tell you problems and not putting you down only if you respect her problem and you're not making her at fault to be a problem and you're taking the responsibility of it. So if she's limited you by letting you know her difficulties, it's not limited you. And while if you consider her difficulties, you can build the second floor. But the prerequisite for us as a man, acknowledge her difficulties and respect them, and not to be upset at her, obviously, and to give her the message, I accept and understand, because every woman has her sitot. The reason she doesn't let you fly, you know why? Because she's afraid you're going to crush her needs. But if you're sure, 100% I respect your need, and with you, whatever it bothers you, I'm okay with it, you can fly, you can go as far as you want. It's all 100% up to us. In a way, we all blame men because we are men on marriage. But Sifte Chaim brings, when, we live in a society, you see people living hard times, shalom bayit. So before I got married, I was very concerned. I'm like, what's going to be? Who said it's going to be fine? Sifte Chaim brings that successful marriage doesn't require two. You need one. Either her or she. Yeah, no, either her or you, yeah. Try to blame her. If it's you or her, when I read that, I was calm. Okay, it's in my control. It's really the control of the husband. Because the way you acknowledge her difficulties and issues, the way she feel open to you, to talk to you, and you're not going to be upset at her, then you're not going to be limited. You're going to be the most powerful man in earth. You're going to have the ability to develop yourself, to develop who you are, and to reach the highest level in the world without any limitation. And also it's important, you hear many books today you write. I do say it with, I'm sorry, I'm not saying it Lashon Hara, I'm saying it to have awareness. Arav Arush books on Shlom Bayit. He's telling you, you are tzaddik, stay silent for מה שעושה לך הכל בסדר. והוא אומר לה, את צדקת, whatever he does to you, he can basically tell you see how many zchiyot you're going to get in, not him, in general, all the books, how many zchiyot you're going to get in the shamayim, you shut up. If your wife says something, shut up. But all done. She's suffering. You can't have zchiyot, have Gan Eden on her Gehenom. She lives Gehenom on this world. You're going to get Gehenom. It's nonsense. It's impossible that your wife's suffering, you're going to get Gan Eden from her suffering. If she suffered because of you, it's your fault. It's your responsibility to resolve it and to take care of it. If bother her something, she's screaming at you, that means you don't understand. You don't listen to her well. You don't acknowledge her difficulties. It's on us. It's 100% ours, men. We are the fool. Anything happened to our wife, it's in 100% control. Any hers, 100% controlled by the writer. It all depends how do you write it. Any woman, 100% controlled by men. All of her behavior, all of its good, the way she talks, the way she behaves. You see a woman who married to Ashkenazi, after a few years she's using Ashkenazi word. Married to Sephardi, she starts using the Sephardi word. She leaves you. The Gemara says, L'olam yisa adam, isha adam bat talmid chacham. So the Gemara says, because somebody who lives under Talmid Chacham, she's going to make his children to be Talmid Chacham. The Gemara brings a story that a guy she was married to a Talmid Chacham, and she used kosheret lo tefillin, kishrei tefillin, the Gemara says. And then he passed away. She was married to a moches, the one who takes the taxes, and it's a duty on the. So that was the mafia guys, like they control the customs. They control the customs. So then she was writing for him the notes for the mochet. She will do whatever you're going to do. So any behavior if any time, and I think it's important to raise awareness, if your wife is upset, don't say, okay, achi, nashim. We all laugh about it, as it's easier for us, but it's on us, 100%. Something is wrong with you, the way you communicate, the way you understand her, the way you're taking care of her, it's 100% on us. That was the approach of our fathers in the Torah. I want to start on the second story, and then I go to the first story. The second story was when Avraham Avinu, when Sarah laughed on the message of the Malachim. It's funny. I'm 90 years old, I'm going to have a child. She's laughing. Hashem makes a big story out of it. So we ask, why Hashem doesn't talk to her? Why is he talking to Avraham? It's very simple. Whose problem it is that Sarah is laughing? Avraham. That means that you don't give her the message that you believe you're going to have children. Who is at fault? Avraham. An Arab said something and she doesn't believe it. It's not about the Arab, it's about her. How come you don't believe? Because Hashem goes to Avraham, how come your wife laughs? If she laughs, that means that you didn't take care of her, you didn't give her the emunah, the message that you're going to have children. So then Avraham turned over to Sarah and he told her, Sarah, why did you laugh? Listen, Rabbi say, this is what a true wife is. If she admits that she laughed, who's going to be at fault? Avraham. Vayeira lo tzachati ki yareh. She was afraid to put Avraham at fault. She didn't want him to feel bad. But what Avraham did as a response? Vayeira lo ki tzachak. I am at fault. That's why there is no continuation of the dialogue. He took full responsibility on the behavior of his wife. If you did something wrong, and I'm acknowledging it, and I'm taking responsibility. That's a true definition of a husband. She was afraid for him. Let's go to the host. Avraham Avinu is hosting children, and he's telling his wife, Avraham is hosting the Malachim, and he's telling his wife, Mari, Maher, Shalosh Im Kemach Solet. So again, he said Kemach, מכאן שאישה עיניה צרה ברוכי. I just want to explain the term. מה זה צרה ברוכי? הגמרא אומרת that the second wife, it's called צרה. כמו יבומס. וכי יצתה צרתה גם רעימה in פנינה. צרה is a second wife. למה? הגמרא שמעולם לא אמר אדם צר לי המקום. צרה it's somebody who take a space and make your own space shrink. עושה את המקום שלך צר. That's called צרתה. says the Gemara, אישה עיניה צרה ברוכין. למה? When you have a guest in your house, נכון? Do you feel the guest? You're not here, אחי. Physically you're not at home, and when you're not at home, we are flying. We are not blended. We are not part of this. We are not attached to the world. Who fills the house? Aisha. So when you have a guest, who needs to shrink himself? Aisha. Classic case, נשים שלנו צנועות, נכון? If you have guests, she needs to work different. She needs to think different. Who's around? I'm not talking about hosting people, hosting family. One of the biggest issues usually men and husband and wife has, that you host people. You want to have guests at home and she doesn't want. Ma ishti, it's chesed. Let's think about it 1 second. You want to have guests at home, you're sitting at the table, it's a kef. 18 people sitting by you. She worked all day, the day before, to host people. And now she has the right to say no. And now tzara ba'ochim. You're shrinking her. You're putting her smaller. We have no right to invite anybody to our house. לפי זה. You cannot shrink your wife, make her small. If you make your wife small, you're at fault. You cannot turn your wife into a slave and make her. And therefore, when the Gemara says it's not to put her down, and it's exactly the opposite, and we're going to see the point. So therefore, look, unbelievable the way Avraham Avinu dealt with his wife. I had an event this week. We did an event for the parents of Shorashim. So I was working with my wife, she helped over here, and I gave her instructions. I didn't turn over to my wife and tell her, can you please make sure the tablecloth over there? I said, we need tablecloth over there, we need this. I give her clear instructions. As a good husband, I'm supposed to talk nice to my wife. With respect, please put it. What made me feel comfortable? when I came to Florida, when I came to Hollywood, I was very concerned. Number one, for chinuch ha'eladim, and my wife, how she's going to feel over here. And our Rosh Yeshiva told me the following principle. He said, look at Chabad. Chabad, they have no issues over there. The wife is fine, and the children usually fine. Lama. He said, your wife and your children must be part of the mission. If you are the rabbi, and she is the wife at home and your children at home, you're going to fall. But if they're part of what you're doing, then it's not my father went to his shul, it's our shul. It's our place, it's our makom. When my wife comes here, and all of my children came here to set up for the event, they're part of it. When me and my wife do anything together, she's part of the event, I can talk however I want. I'm not telling her, I can tell her, let's do this, because I'm not giving her instructions for me. We are a team members, and we have to get things done. And exactly the opposite. If I would have turned over to my wife and going to say, can you please pull a tablecloth? She would have given me a kafa. No, talk to me. If I'm telling her, can you please do that? That means that I don't consider her part of it. When I'm telling her, let's do that, that means I'm giving her a message, you're part of the event. And therefore, I can communicate with her just giving quick instructions. Avraham Avinu, and that's unbelievable. The way he communicated with his wife was Mahari. He made her, obviously, part of this Gmilut Chasadim, part of the mission. Yet, Rabbi Isai, he was aware l'sritot shela. He knows that Isha enei tzara baruchim. What did he do? Tavi li kemach. Although you're part of my mission, the areas that you are sensitive for, I'm going to be sensitive for you. I'm not going to push you. Who cares, kemach or solid? Abraham was a billionaire. The difference between kemach and solid, it's not money difference, but it's a sensitivity to his wife. I'm sensitive to you, although we are part of the mission. You're part of the mission, but I'm going to be very aware to your concerns. What was the response of Sarah? No, solid. Let me do what you want to do. And that's the unbelievable principle. If you are aware to your wife's sensitivities and you validate them and you give her the clear, true, honest message, genuine message, I don't want to make you work hard. Don't say it because she likes to hear it. Do it mamish sincere, mikol halev. She will do everything for you to work hard. She will do solid. She will be part of the mission of her husband. Avraham Avinu made her part of the mission with the awareness to her difficulties. And that's the most, the more we're going to put awareness to her sritot and difficulties, the more they're going to go away and it will be smaller. Because if you acknowledge your difficulties, the difficulties is a statement of existence of a woman. I'm here. Realize that I'm here. So if you're not going to realize, she's going to make sure you will realize. There is no way not to realize it. I never met a man who has no challenge with his wife. But there are two ways. Either your challenge is to invest at her a lot, or to fight with her a lot. There is nothing in the middle. A woman needs to feel her existence. I shared with you, I was in Florentine, it was Red Hook before, and I saw a couple, beautiful, I saw husband and wife, non-religious at all. The way they talk to each other, the harmony over there with their children was really, I was impressed. So I went over to them and I wanted to know, I said, can I ask you a question? What's the secret of your marriage? They said, we are divorced. So I look at them like, ma heck, and they said to me both, he said, we realize if we want our children to be healthy, we gotta learn how to communicate. We have no choice. So I said, can I ask a question? No, it's like, hey, maybe you should consider getting married again. Both said, no. But it's the same effort.
That's why they were happy.
The same, huh? Yeah, the same effort. The same effort. You got to put effort in the relationships no matter what. Either you're going to put effort to fight, or you put effort to build, to communicate, or if you're going to break it, you're going to put effort to live diverse life. A woman told me, my ex, he said, you need to know who to get married. There is a saying in Hebrew, but you need to know who to get divorced from. And he's the one you can get divorced from, He treats me so nice, he's taking care of me. You need to work on divorce life, you need to work on marriage life, either way. So we need to work, you better work it on the best way, on the healthy way. The last part is the story of Yaakov Avinu. Rachel crying, how come my sister had children? I don't have children. She has Maasim Tovim. Go daven for me! He said, no. My father daven because he had no children. I have children. Tough luck. It's your problem. They said, okay, man, I'm going to give him a gift, another wife. What's going on over here? We know that the designated wife for Yaakov was Rachel. Leah was supposed to marry Esau. Leah made a decision. She gave up or harmony or true relationship with her husband that should be Esau for the sake of being part of Am Yisrael. And she married Yaakov, being always the big wife. Her children names represent the difficult relationship she felt toward Yaakov. By the way, it doesn't mean Yaakov did it to her. But this is what she felt toward Yaakov. She felt always class B wife. Both of them are married, and she did a lot in life. She decided, I'm going to be no matter what, for the sake of Am Yisrael, I'm going to be part of it. I'm giving up my own life just for the sake of my children. Rachel sees that Leah has children, but she doesn't have children. And Rachel is bothered. She says, how is that possible? We married to the same person. We are both daughters of the same father. You have children and I don't have. That means that you have more Maasim Tovim. What's your privilege? You give up so much of your life to be married to Yaakov. So that's why it says, V'tekane Rachel be'achota. What's going on over here? You have the privilege of do mitzvot to such an extent. I don't have it. I have beautiful relationship with my husband. I'm his first love. He loves me the most. But there is nothing for me to do in this relationship. Change, no special deed to do. And therefore she goes over to Yaakov. She says, Yaakov, Ava li banim. You my husband, you have to take responsibility for me. I'm like dead. You want your wife to feel like dead? Basically, Rachel approached to her husband on a very healthy wife. If I have a problem, and Rabbi said that's important, your wife's problem is your problem. And you need to resolve it. So many times I say, it's not my problem, it's your problem. This is the parents where you grew up, and that's how they raised you. What do you want from me? No, your wife's problem is your problem. And I have a problem, something is wrong with me as a wife, she blames her husband, legit 100%. And she telling him, you're not a good husband. If you would be a good husband, your father was a good husband and he davened for his mom, for your mom, and that's why you're here in the world. You don't daven for me, you're not a good husband. Legit claim. Something bothered her. Who she blames? Her husband. Classic wife, and I want to emphasize a healthy wife. Yaakov responds to her unbelievable. Says Yaakov, I am the best husband in earth. And I want you to know that you know what the reason Leah has children? I daven for both of you to have children. I'm a husband, I don't need you to ask to daven for me. I daven for you and for Leah to have children. It's nothing to do with her Maasim Tovim. The only thing, Hashem decide that she's going to have children and you not going to have children. Yaakov Avinu is telling his wife, it's not up to me and nothing wrong with you. It's up to Hashem. The fact that you don't have children, he gave her the highest feeling in the world. He didn't put her down, he built her up. Has nothing to do with Maasim Tovim. Has nothing to do with your sister. You are the great woman ever, and she's the great woman ever. I'm the greatest husband ever, and I daven for both of you. The problem is Hashem decided you're not going to have. There is nothing to do. Don't feel bad. You're 100% legit. After she realized that, she was able to bring him a third wife. What's two things you need for a woman to bring her husband a third wife? Number one, she needs to feel so good about herself.
I think the second one first.
Second, so good about herself. Number two, she needs to be so confident on her husband that another wife will not going to take anything from her. That's what happened. She felt 100% comfortable with who she is to him. She's not worried. She felt 100% on him. She trusts him to be a true husband no matter what, and she was able to give him a third wife. So it's unbelievable to see the dialogue of Yaakov Avinu, which is true. When he told her that, Asher mana mimech, it's a compliment to her. Don't feel at fault. Most of the issues of women, emotions bring people down. So anything wrong with her, she feels she's worthless. That's the reason that you never ever allow to criticize your wife. For two reasons. Number one, he's not going to help. Anybody don't criticize his wife, he help. Number two, you're putting her down, she feels worthless. Because when something wrong by a woman, emotion sees the today and this cycle picture, so she treats it as, I am worthless. If you're telling her that she did something asur, so you don't trust me, so then you don't love me, then you never love me, and your mom also said that, but everything, and so it's asur, isur מהתורה, of לא תונו איש את עמיתו. You're not allowed to suffer your fellow Jew and culture can your wife that you charge of her to give any criticism. Because criticism to a woman is putting her down. Because she always relate, whatever it is, that means she's worthless. Even though it's nothing, like we see Rachel, the greatest woman in the world, not having children, she made her sister, Baalat Tzadikim, Maasim Tovim, which has nothing to do with it. Our job as a husband, when obviously not to put a wife down, chas v'shalom, and not to give any criticism, but further than that, it's to bring them up. After you acknowledge, the first thing a woman wants to understand that you acknowledge a problem. After you acknowledge a problem, then you can lift a woman up and give him the true, honest, sincere feeling that he's not them. So I think the most important part that everybody didn't elevate. דין הצורה, גרש בין האמה הזו ואת בנה. What happened over there? Based on what we are saying, a woman has no right to say anything in marriage.
על השאלות גם הרב דילג.
איזה שאלות?
הרב לא הכניס לסיפור הזה בכלל, גרש בין האמה.
Did I talk about גרש בין האמה ואת בנה? No, I skipped it. מחילה, I gave it to Yosef before. Okay. So, by גרש בין האמה הזאת ואת בנה, when Avraham Avinu is telling, when Sarah decided that Avraham Avinu needs to kick out Ishmael, he didn't behave properly, so he said, kick him out. And suddenly Hashem telling you, okay, כל אשר תאמר עליך שרה, שמע בקולה, you gotta listen to your wife. But we just see that your wife is not the one who directs her husband. The husband is the leader. You're the one who direct. You're the one who defined. You're the one who act different. There is something more interesting about the horse. How far can you see? We have a limited vision. You see the eyes of the horse, נכון? כל עין כמו תחתית של הרק, you know? Every eye is big. A horse, if horse has a problem with here, זה שריטה. If something bothers him now, it's שריטה. But when he sees something, he can see things far a problem that you are unable to see today. And you must rely on him. Because if not, when you're going to arrive there, you're going to have a problem. If the horse first with you, not to go too far to a certain place, something is dangerous over there that you cannot see. His smell is sensed way different than anybody else. So although you got to control him, but sritot, you got to give him the understanding, but the only time you must listen when he sees something far. When Sarah turned over to Avraham Avinu, what was her problem? Says the Torah, ותרא שרה את בן הגר המצרי מצחק. He bad behaviors. What she told Avraham Avinu? What do you expect her to tell? This guy, תראה מה הוא עושה. I don't want him over here, kick him out. She didn't say that. She said something else, which not related. She said, גרש את בן האמה הזאת, את האמה הזאת בנה, כי לא יירש בן האמה עם בני עם יצחק. I don't want him to get Yerusha together with Yitzchak. Is that your problem or the problem is Metzachek? And that's the difference. If she would have turned to Avraham Avinu and tell her, look, הוא מצחק, kick him out of the house, she's wrong. How do we know she's wrong? Because eventually Ishmael עשה תשובה, נכון? If she complains about today, if she's telling you, well, now something is wrong, doesn't work, you don't listen to her. But what did she say? Irash. I'm talking about after 120, said Sarah, that you and I are not here. I don't want him to get inherited with Yitzchak. This is a further vision. That's not today's vision. ויאמר השם אל אברהם כל אשר תאמר עליך שרה שמע בקולה. There is something in the voice that she sensed that we don't sense. We're missing those senses. But it all depends. If she's telling you something on the future, you listen to her. If she tried to put things down for today, you don't listen. And therefore it says, שמע בקולה. מה זה קולה? הגמרא אומרת, קול באישה ערווה. Why קול באישה ערווה? When you hear a woman talking, it's attractive, נכון? Hello, how are you? We want to ask if you want. You're getting all those phone calls, hey, do you need extra financing? You hang up on it. But you're getting those phone calls, hi, how are you? We wanted to know, just the voice already attractive, נכון? That's a question. What's scary? Scarier. When you hear a man screaming or a woman screaming? When a woman's screaming, you don't want to be in the area. A man screams, you know, see a woman screaming, like, פחד חדים, נכון? When a woman screams, זה לא קול שלה. מתי קול באישה ערווה? When the voice of a woman is attractive, and she talks soft and nice. When she's upset, נכון? עצבים, screaming, אחי, אין פה ערווה, you don't want to hear her, you don't want to see her.
זה סתומה, זה שום דקה.
כל אשר תאמר אליך, שמע בקולה. אם היא אומרת, כה תאמר לבית יעקב. אם היא אומרת, means, תשמע בקולה, יש בה קול, there is a message. אם היא צועקת, no, listen to her pain, not to the message. אם היא צועקת, you're listening to the pain. If she talks quietly, there is a further message. And took everybody here, everybody married, נכון? אז זה השם. If you're married, if your wife come over and tell you, no, I don't want you to do it, you have no patience listening. If she comes to you, you sit on the table, talk, you know what, I was thinking, you got to do something different. Naturally, you listen. But this is a future. A wife never talks quiet about the moment. She screams about the moment. She talks quiet about the future. But there is one more element to the way she's saying things. We are men, say things, נכון? ישר, straight. When Hashem gave the Torah, we know, כה תאמר לבית יעקב ותגל לבני ישראל. A woman doesn't say things straight. She give you hints, and she wants you to understand, to be a Gaon Bivilna, and to understand through her hints what bother her. You know, you see something sometimes, you sometimes, you know, you have some tension. Okay, what happened? Whatever. תגידי לי מה הבעיה, I'll take care of it. Women got to go around. When Hashem gave the Torah, he said, he didn't say כה תאמר, what's כה תאמר לבית יעקב? Don't talk to her direct. למי תגיד? לבית. Talk around. If you talk around the בית יעקב, she's going to get it. אבל בני ישראל, מה זה? תגיד, ישירות. When you talk to a man, he barely gets it. If you talk around, there is no way he's going to get it. A communication with a woman, you need to be aware. She gives you around messages. That's the only way to give her messages. If you want to create a change by your wife, never give her any direct messages. You are just saying messages around, none related to her, then she's going to get it. But anything related to the woman herself, then sensitive. If she's going to get it, you're going to get in trouble. So our understanding, our message of this week, number one, is to understand the differences. The fact that you want to fly, and she is like, that means you don't acknowledge her difficulties, and that's why she's giving you a hard time, she's pulling you down. If you pull her up by acknowledge her difficulties, by understand her, then she will have all of the ability to let you go, to do what you need. And when she complains about the difficulties, don't respond back right away, we're always like that, אתה תמיד עוצרת אותי, you never let, no. Acknowledge, what's bothering you? Let me listen. I want to know, this bothers you, I understand that's a problem. Wait a day, go next day, I found a solution. Acknowledge the problem, then you can have the ability to fly, and the most important, we should take 100% responsibility for our wives.
ברור, ברור.